boy. Here we go. It's boys. This is Nick. I'm sorry, little mix right now. HOUTX Trader, your boy Nick, coming live from Houston, Texas, guys. We're gonna be looking at US 30, nasty Nasdaq, and Goldilocks. We are already in some trades, guys. This is just for training. It is not financial advice, so please go see a financial advisor if you need financial help. Welcome back, guys. We're having trouble with OBS Studio as always, so we switched over to the good old StreamYard. And StreamYard just seems to run a lot better. The only problem with StreamYard is that it does not save the videos in 4K. So when you go back and look at this later on, it looks like shite. Up and down movement. That good old up and down movement. Yes, Andy, it is good old up and down movement. So let's just send out a couple of what's ups. Let's just close down some of this shit. Yeah. Yeah, new link. Stupid old OBS Studio. At least this StreamYard will work better, right? So there we go. There's a link. We're on StreamYard. Everything should be good to go. Hopefully some people will join in. It is what it is. Okay. Let's watch this NASDAQ fucking mount. Hopefully NASDAQ melts. I'm hoping 30 goes up to our sell zone, and yeah. So I've already explained most of this. So right now we have, okay, what up, Fire Punch? What up, Chris? Yeah, dude. So I'm on, as you can see now, StreamYard. It just works better. The problem is if you go back and look at the videos after, like, to review or whatever, it's in 720, I think, and it just looks like shit. It's hard to see the charts. So I think with OBS Studio, when I do those, at least it saves it in 4K and you can look back. But just, I don't know why OBS Studio and my computer do not get along. My computer is less than a year old. I bought this computer specifically to do live trading on. I don't do anything else but trade on it. I mean, I might look at Instagram and news and shit, but I don't have any, I don't have anything else going on. It's just a pure trading computer and social media. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to buy a better computer. Maybe my boy Juan, who I haven't seen in a while, maybe boy Juan can get with me and we can design a badass computer with, super fucking squirrel shit for live trading. But until then. So, I mean, I'm still stoked on this entry for NASDAQ, right? I mean, honestly, it came down. I do not like this wick, but it didn't pierce above. This is up and it hasn't done anything. So I think it just looks better, honestly, than the 30 does. I don't know why. I think they look kind of, maybe this is my own internal psychology because I'm already in a short. But on NASDAQ, it just looks like it's in a better place. I just don't think that it's 30 is as good of a place to sell off as NASDAQ is because we don't have the 61.8 extension. We don't have the 88.6 touched. I just don't think it's there. I just want to see it come up and then dump one more time. And again, this is probably my own bias talking there. It probably looks the exact same. I mean, it looks pretty fucking close. But we have a top. We have basically double top with a lower divergence, and then now this with even lower on the RSI. Yeah. So basically what we should be concentrating on is seeing if we can figure out where gold is going to go and also 30, right? So again, we're in this I don't trade, don't fuck around zone. So for me, this is a no trade zone. I'm not looking to do any trades in this area because it's just too risky. Now, some people will say, okay, this is simple Fibonacci right there. There's no reason why you should have taken that trade, right? From there to there, if we go to smaller time frames, I think you'll see that that's the top. Let's just go. Yeah, so that would be the top, and there's the 88.78.6 close above, whatever. I see that, but that's just not the internal. Like, I'm not trying to do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a nice sell candle right there. There is a trap area right here, right? And it did not break this double bottom. You could have bought right there and you would be stoked. It's just a little risky for me considering that all this liquidity is below, right? I'm not going to screw with that. I'll wait for the better chances. And this is kind of, I guess, as I progress, you learn you don't want all the trades, you want the best trades, and that's not really the highest probability trade right there with the liquidity sitting below it. And again, on 30, we're just waiting. We're waiting. So maybe again, if there is a buy opportunity, perhaps this wick fills and gives us a little bit of dip, and we figure out something in this area to come up. I'd rather just wait and wait for it to come off here and sell down. So we got 3 people in here, probably the same 3 people before. You've heard me say it a million times. Can you screen share? Oh my God, yes. Yikes. Yikes. Fucking new guy here. Me, fucking noob. I was still thinking we were screen sharing from last time. My bad. The joys of live streaming. I can't edit that out. Hey, you idiot. You're not even sharing your screen. I should look at the chats more often. My bad. So, yeah, we're still good. We still called this entry up here on NAS. We're still good. We really just need to concentrate on gold and 30. So, you're going to see me go back. As a matter of fact, let's just do this. All right. We'll put 30 on this side. We'll put Goldilocks on this side. We'll close this and make this a little bit bigger. So we're looking for entries on gold. Again, we're not even on the 15-minute on gold. We're not even overbought, right? We're not even overbought. We have plenty of room to come up. So let's see if over the next 20 minutes we can get this push up, find an area around the 78.6. Again, we have this last, we have what we marked off up here, which was the breaker block. We have the breaker block there. But then even more precisely, we have this top here, and we have this last bull candle, and 50% of that bull candle. So if we hit 50% of that bull candle, that could be our entry, which is also the 78.6, right? Now, I know the strategy says we put the TP way up there, which I think if it's, I don't think it's going to, that's kind of crazy, but, if we're going by the strategy, that's what we need to do. And then our immediate TP would be at least this bottom for liquidity, but maybe it'll want to hold that as a swing marker. So we're looking into we're looking at enough pips, 2.2, that we could close out half, be it a 1-to-1, and we leave the other half running for bigger. Or you can just close out 2% and leave that other little bit going. So you'd have a 1-to-2 trade. You risk $100, get $200 or $1,000 for $2,000, whatever. And then you leave the rest going in case it continues to go. So we're paying attention for the short here on gold, and we're being patient to see if we can get it to break up. Because again, it's taking out this liquidity. What did it do? Let's look at what the market just did. It came down and hit this double bottom for liquidity, because there are some yahoos out there who think they're fucking millionaire traders who were buying right there. Look at the simple fib. Up, down, touch on the trend line, let's buy. And they're not wrong. That's a very good trade, because look at how many pips they caught. But the market says, screw you guys, yank, we're going to double bottom this and knock you out at break evens. And all of that is going to give us momentum then to push up. To do what? To take out this liquidity. The market is doing 2 things. It hunts or it consolidates. It hunted these people's stop losses and break evens. All right. And now it's taking out everyone else who's been selling. I have a good buddy, Sammy. What up, Sammy? If you watch this later, he was selling from up here, and he thinks, fuck, this thing's going to keep melting. And I told him yesterday to take half of his profits right here, right? At the very top of this, I said, yo, take half your profits now, because this thing, and he's like, oh shit. He texts me right back, it's still dumping. I'm like, dude, don't be greedy. Take half your profits, leave the runner, because this is going to come back up. It's exactly what it's doing. So when I text him later, I'm going to be like, told you so. Good thing you took your profits here, because it came right back up. So what then I'm going to tell him again now is, let's look for another entry in this zone, right? And whatever his entry was up here, hopefully he left a runner and he took the majority of his profits off. So we have to think about, what is the market doing? The market dipped and closed above to do what? So that it could push up. And it's kind of the same thing that we would expect on 30. Now, unfortunately, we're in a NAS sell. We don't want that to happen on NAS, but it is what it is. Look at gold pushing. It's expected. Dip down to get the liquidity. Now it has the fuel to push up. Now it's taking out this liquidity, which we really want to do is sell. So we're going to wait for that sell. 30, on the other hand, isn't screwing around. I think 30, the bears are still hanging in there. Look how it's stalling. What's Nasty Nas doing? Pushing back up. So if Nas is pushing up, SP 500 is pushing up, then I would expect 30 to come along with it. So perhaps we have our entry on 30 later on, and perhaps we're just early on this Nasdaq entry. Again, if we zoom back out and we look, we don't really have an internal break of structure on the Nasdaq, so we could very well be early. But I'm willing to let this do what it's going to do. I'm not going to move to break even and get manipulated just yet. I'm going to let that run its course. All right. So that's just me personally. Look at how many pips were there on Nasdaq. They could have taken profit. Could have, should have, did it. Okay, so now we have Nas on this side. So let's put 30 on this side. Excuse me for messing my charts up. 30, and let's do Goldilocks on this side, because those are the two we need to watch. Primarily Goldilocks. I think gold looks like in a better position because it's already pushing up, and then US 30 is screwing around. So the indices are screwing around. Oh, Powell speaks at 9 o'clock. Gold, can't see the chart. Gold, yeah, we're on double bottom. So look at where's Powell? I didn't even really know, to be honest, that he was. I knew that he was speaking today, but I don't know what he's talking about. So in 45 minutes, Powell is speaking, right? In 45 minutes. We already had PMI, came out, actual, seems bullish. Now, this is so crazy. Better than expected results, 2 basis points, right? And so that should be seen as green, should be seen as bullish in the market. But that shit never happens, it seems like. It seems like everyone thinks, oh, that's green, it's bullish in the market. And the market is the exact opposite. It came out green, the market dropped its ass, right? So I kind of think that they use that news and go the opposite direction, which is what happened with jobs the other day. Jason, getting text messages over here. The air chamber bracket? The fuck is an air chamber bracket? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at some emails. Not emails, text messages from my buddy in Ohio. Okay. So again, guys, I think this is kind of the point where we're just watching paint dry and we're looking for gold to give us an entry here. Let me go back to the StreamYard so I can see if there's any chance. Bingo, StreamYard. Yeah, Rashid T, we looking at gold, my brother. Thank you very much, guys, for joining. Thank you very much, Fire Punch Black. It's a great name. Rice. Thank you guys for joining in here. We've got 9 people in here. Chris, thank you guys very much for joining on the live stream here. If you guys are new, remember this is just for training, it's not financial advice, right? And we're not looking at NASDAQ right now because we're already in NASDAQ shorts that we called out yesterday. And so we're looking to see if we could find an entry here on gold. And so if you're new, the way I look at this market and the way I look at these things is I try to figure out what is the market doing? Why did it take that dip down on news open, and where is the market going, right? So for me, I look at this area with these bulls, these tops, and these tops as pure liquidity. Therefore, I'm not shorting until this liquidity gets taken out, right? I know that this is the goal. They want to take out this money. So what are they going to do? News, they're going to shoot down, right? Hit double bottoms here, hit anyone that had a stop loss or break evens here. That's grabbing the bottom side liquidity to come up and then take out the top side liquidity. So this is doing exactly what we expect. Now I just want to see if we can figure out a place to sell. We're not overbought on the RSI, so this still has room to come up. 9 o'clock the market hasn't opened yet at 8:30 my time local. Powell's speaking at 9 o'clock my time. So there's room for this market to come up. Now, we also see that we have this huge engulfing, which is called a breaker block. We had this last bull candle here, which is we consider like a trap candle, right? So we think that the market is going to come up and target this area. Now, we use the sell fib from there, top to bottom, to get us our 88.6, 78.6 area, which I consider my sell zone. I'm looking for sells in this zone right there. Gold loves a 78.6. So I'm more looking to take a sell at the 78.6 than I am the 88.6. But we'll confirm those entries with the RSI on a much smaller time frame. We'll go to the 3-minute or the 1-minute to try to scalp that entry, right? I'm not saying that we're necessarily going to wait for internal break of structure and a pullback. We could do that, but I want to see at least a 3-touch divergent on the RSI on the 1-minute or 3-minute into this area, and I'll be willing to take the sell on the top of the 3rd touch. So we can take a bit more of aggressive sell than what some people normally do. And so if you're curious what it is that I'm talking about, I will draw it up here for you now. So what I would be looking for on the 3-minute or the 1-minute is that. All right. And so I'd be willing to take a riskier sell here on the 3rd touch, as long as you see we have the divergent, as long as the RSI on the bottom side does this: overbought, down, still overbought, down, and then right around this 70, and then go. So the RSI would be getting smaller, right? Top, bottom, lower, lower, and even lower. And so if we want to make this accurate, we'd put it right here, and we'd put it right there. We'd put that one right there, and obviously this is going to come over like this. All right. So the 3rd touch on top, 1, 2, 3 on top. At the same time, you have a 1, 2, 3 getting lower on the RSI. So this is really the only indicator that I use, and I'd be willing to take this riskier sell right here on this 3rd touch if we get all that. Now that's if we don't know yet, right? So let's just delete all this junk. Delete this, and let's reset our charts. And so that's what we're looking for on Goldilocks. I think we're in a position that we could see that here in the next 30 minutes. All right. Hopefully it doesn't just wick this and then go. I mean, we want a better entry. That's a little too risky for me, and we're not overbought on the RSI, so we're not there yet. On 30-30, I'm waiting for it to come all the way up to here. Again, we'll see if we get some RSI. That's probably not going to happen today, honestly. Big news is tomorrow. So perhaps, like I said earlier, if this price, when it wicked down like this, if it closed below this area, which it did, I expect US 30 to come up to here today and over Asian session, London session tomorrow, so that tomorrow morning we could have some sort of wiki manipulation, and then the bottom drops out of it because it's in a good sell area. So I'm not super aggressive on US 30 today because I think the real move is tomorrow. So we're just gonna have to wait on that. But if it does give it to us, it gives it to us. We'll pull the trigger if it's there. I'm not going to go out of my way to pull the trigger on that today. We'll look at NASDAQ real quick because we are in a sell on NASDAQ. And again, we had the market manipulation, and hopefully the bulls will hold here and continue to sell off. I have not protected. And honestly, we have swaps that are paying in our favor. So the longer this trade and the sell stays open, it'll pay us swaps, and we're good to go. Like I'm not mad about that either. There was an internal, like if you're a trend line person, there's a 15 break. I got it a little bit ahead of that trend line. So, yeah, make it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Thanks for all 7 people being here. We're just kind of hanging out and waiting for, really waiting for gold. That's really the only entry we had today. I think 30 is too far away. It's not even close to being up here. We're already in a sell in NASDAQ, so I'm not going to triple down on my sell. I'm already in 2 sells, and it's basically Goldilocks. So I don't want to get too aggressive on gold. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it is kind of divergent. It did take liquidity, but again, I want to see it up here. So we're going to be patient on gold. We still have time. Market's not open yet. Give me a few minutes. I'm going to go say hi to my daughter real quick. She just woke up. I will be back in just a few minutes. Okay. Okay. 6 people. Thank you guys for hanging me. Went to go say hi to my daughter real quick. She's eating breakfast. What else can we talk about? You guys are in the chats. Is there anything else um, you want to look at? Is there any questions? Is there any strategies, technical? Is there any fundamental things? Any questions? Basically, to give us something to talk about. My daughter took my hat away from me. She's now a Bass Pro hat wearer while she's eating breakfast. So yeah, Goldie's about it. We're seeing the 3 drive touch, but it's not divergent. So I'm not even worried about that 3 drive touch. We're too close to market open. So let's talk about the whole funded thing, broker thing, right? And just because I'm looking now at my charts and I see over here to the side DIA. Look at that gap. Jesus. Well, let's look at that 1 hour. So this is if you want to go fully regulated and get away from the shady offshore broker business, you'd want to trade DIA. It's the ETF, and then you could open this on your Webull account or your, Robinhood or whatever hell account you're using. My forex.com, whatever, and trade DIA. That's US 30. Trade gold. I mean, it's an ETF that matches what US 30 is, right? You'll notice the numbers are a little bit different. Like for gold, it's 2173. 2,173. And if we go look at Goldilocks, we're at 23. So the numbers are different, but the idea is that the GLD ETF matches or follows what the gold does. Now you'll see that there's big gaps in here because this is all trading adjusted data for dividend. So this is extended trading hours, ETH, right? It does not trade, and you cannot trade gold during Asian London. You can only trade it during normal trading hours. And QQQ would then be Nasdaq, right? And that's their deal. So that's why it's a little gappy. Again, now I mean, if that's part of your strategy, then you play gaps, right? I mean, there's a strategy to be had there. Like, oh, look at this gap right here. So if I didn't even think about that actually. If we look at these gaps, this would then be an area you'd want to see filled, right? Which is let's look at that. It's something I just thought about. If that's a gap there, and unfortunately we don't have that, but what we can do then is use our sessions. Okay. So we could come up here to our sessions. This is something that I'm just now thinking about. So let's see if I can dial this in. Let's just look at our New York sessions then. Okay, hit OK here. Okay, so there's the gap right there, right? If this is the bottom of the New York session here, and this is the top of the New York session there's that gap. And look where our zone is. Huh. That's kind of fucking cool if you ask me. I totally did not think about that until just now. Now, I have used sessions in the past with great accuracy trading NASDAQ. I have not even thought about that until just now. Do you have to close trades during those sessions or can they hold the trades? I think, yeah, you can hold them because it's ETF. So that's just like buying real stocks or whatever. You could put that in your fucking portfolio, right? But look, this is what I used to do in the past. And this is the first time I ever passed FTMO funded account is the way I did it this way. Is I would go through here and I would look at sessions and I would mark off London session. Okay. And what I would do is for London session, let's say that I found an area like this where that is really close together. Okay, the bottom of that London session, the top of that London session. Now I would do this, and I would actually use horizontal lines, and I would find London sessions. I would mark off the tops and bottoms of London sessions, especially if they lined up like this, right? And let's just mark off a couple just for the shit of it. And maybe you could look at this and start to implement this. But we could look at like past sessions. This would be the most obvious one right here. And I would target that. So like in my brain, if this is going to wick, and if I'm going to get into a sell, I want to get into a sell in this area here, because this area, we don't have to use the line. We could use this triangle, or not this rectangle, excuse me. From the bottom to the top, right there is the difference of the two New York sessions, right? All right, London session. Bottom of London, top of London there. Okay. Now we also just marked off that this is the gap in the New York. So we have the gap here in New York we want to get filled. There's the gap in the London. We have the 78.6. How did you highlight New York sessions? Yeah, give me 1 second. So there is that. So for this to come up and to hit this gap in the London, which would also fill in this New York, and our 78.6 is right there. I mean, maybe we don't get filled in the 78.6, but maybe we do. And remember, the 88.6 is also the 61.8 on the higher time fib. So to see gold prices come up and fill in these zones in here is not the craziest thinking in the world. So this is something that I'm going to start looking at now to put in my arsenal. So if you go to your indicators on TradingView and you type in sessions on chart, right? You can go over here and then you modify the sessions and you just click on which one you want. And then obviously you set the times for whichever session, right? If we're looking at just London, for me, I put London at 02 to 0730, which is when news breaks for us here in the States. For my time, I'm Central. And then you can come over here to style and you make it whatever color you want, and they're in order. So if the first one on your thing is London here, you go to style. This is the London color you'd want to use, right? See how it changes if I change it? So there you go. You can set up your styles. Now, I don't use any of this other shit, these plot lines, whatever. You see how the lines are popping up? I don't use any of this other stuff. I don't care. I just want to see the zones. So yeah, look, there's a gap in London. There's a gap in New York. Our fib is right above it. Let's see. I mean, that could have been the entry there with the 60, hit the 61.8 and rejected. Maybe we missed that trade. If we did, oh well. I'm not going to trade it, but that is giving us something extra to think about, which is kind of cool. I didn't think about that until, I knew the sessions thing, but I didn't think about the gap until I just looked at the GLD. The GLD. And look, that's also the top of London. That's kind of weird. Maybe I need to go back and is this 03 in the morning? So, okay, I guess it'll let you trade London because that's 03. It's showing on the chart at 03, but it doesn't show it until 1700. So the market closed at 1700 my time, which is 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. East Coast, and then opened back up at 03 my time for East Coast on Monday. So that's the weekend gap. That's why there's a gap. That's the weekend gap. Is there a gap here? 1600, 1700. So that's just the market close. That's the reason why that gap is there. So it looks like it lets you trade all the time on GLD. I just don't think that's the case for QQQ. Is that the case? So Friday to Monday, that's the weekend gap. Maybe it does. Maybe it does let you trade the whole time, even extended trading hours. 1800 to 03. That's Wednesday to Thursday. So there's a gap there. So maybe, no, it doesn't let you. Okay, so I'm not crazy. Yeah, gap there. Anyways, you get the idea. There's, extended trading hours and regular trading hours is a thing. Regular trading hours. Gaps. Something to think about. Playing gaps. All right. So we added a little bit of extra learning today that we haven't covered in previous podcast and previous live streams. So take something away from this boring ass session where the price isn't moving. I mean, it moved, but yeah. So again, let's target this area. We're still waiting for this gold to see if we can get it, and we've got, well, shit, 830. Maybe that was the entry right there. You should probably be shorting gold right about now. Yeah, maybe we should be shorting gold right about now. Gold. It came up. It took liquidity. It hit the price. I'm not going to go a full. I'm not going to go a full deal. Let's do stop loss 23.55. 23.55. Sell. All right, I'm in now. A little bit late, but I'm in 23.55. 23.55 is right up there. And let's see if we cannot now target this bottom liquidity. Okay, I'm gonna do something like this. That's not the best one-to-one, that's for sure. But actually, what I'll do is if this does give me in some sort of profit, what I'll do then is I'll just protect and just see if I can catch that run. That's a bit of a risky entry. I don't normally trade that way, but I do see the 61 get 8 hit. I did see this liquidity on top get hit. I do know there's liquidity on the bottom, and it is what it is. I didn't risk a full percentage, so we're good to go. I'm not over leveraged. No big deal. Like almost a 0.5%. So we'll see if we can catch some profits off of that and just let that run, and maybe that'll be a fucking banger. We'll see. US 30s. Okay, so again, I don't expect US 30 to do anything until tomorrow. The news is tomorrow, and honestly, if I would say something, it's going to do one of these up and probably into this area. To be honest with you, and so tomorrow when news cops, it'll give us that wick like it did today, and then be gone, close, and then be gone. So there goes gold. So there's my entry. It's in profit now on Goldilocks. And we could have taken a bit earlier entry when we saw this doji candle and then close right back in. Again, I don't trade this strategy. I don't like this strategy. But there's the top of the zone, and when it dojied above and closed right there, there was the entry signal right there. Right, so we got in just a few pips late. It is what it is. There sees some volatility with going up and down. Again, if we lose it, it's not a big fucking deal. We're only 0.5%. We do not want NASDAQ to do the same. We want NASDAQ to sell off, and I don't think it's going to. But again, it could be just targeting the top of this London range, which in case we won't even go in a drawdown, it could go back off. So, and with this, whatever fib this is, we're still playing inside the same area. So let's clean the charts up a bit and get rid of this session shit. Let's get rid of all this. We don't need any of this anymore. So what I'm seeing here is that we're still playing within this range. We're still playing in this area, in this Fibonacci, and it hasn't done anything. Now we played the double top. Let's see here. What do we want to use? We played this double top. You get the idea. And so we do not want to see this double top get broken. That's what we're playing. And I mean, honestly, right now, this is a time where you could probably reduce your risk to break even, because if this double top does break, then it's probably going to be gone. I don't want to play. I mean, I already accepted the risk. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to move to break even. But yeah. So maybe there'll be some fireworks in a little bit when Pal gets up here and runs his mouth. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You guys are quiet in the chats. What are we thinking here in the chats? How do you highlight the New York sessions? Yeah, we showed you that already. And do you have to close trades during? No, I don't think so. Those trades on the ETFs just go. So yeah, it looks like Goldilocks is messing around. It's okay. We're not worried about it. That's a hell of a wick, though. Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured this would happen when we saw this wick. It's gonna target this top liquidity, but hopefully it just targets this area here, and that's the top of London, right? It targets that top of London there, and then goes back. It is flirting with this trend line. Man, it'd be nice if it closed below that and go. I did not mean to draw an almost dick-looking shape of my charts. My apologies. Let's get rid of all this swiggly lines. Anything else, guys? Do we have anything to chat about while we're watching the market fucking dry us out? Alrighty. So I think I'm going to cut it then. There's our entry on gold. A bit risky. Not normally my entry type. I probably should have waited till up here, to be honest with you. But I only risked a little bit. So on this one too, I'm not really looking forward to taking profit too early. Like if I do get this, and I'm just going to protect and then see if I can catch this runner. Basically, that's what kind of entry that is. Let myself see if I can catch it down to here. 20. I'm just going to set that TP right now then. 20, 23, 24, 23, 25 is what I'm set. 23, 25 with a TP for that. I am a drawdown, but it is what it is. 23, 59. 23, 50. What did I say? 23, 24. All right. I'm going to hit target a 1% TP on that and be done with it. And NASDAQ, as you know, we're already in NASDAQ and we're getting close to being break even now. And we're not even messing with 30. We're going to let 30 come up and then we'll sell off tomorrow. So that's it for today, guys, I think. We get off the live stream, take the kiddo to school. There's 7 people in here. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you learned something when it comes to fibs, the RSIs, look at your sessions. And then before we go real quick, we have the pivot swing and highs. If you guys are well, if you guys want to use the swing points, there is the indicator here called pivot high low points. If you go to your indicators, it's called where is it at? Pivot high low points by Lonesome, the whatever that is. And you can come in here and you can adjust the numbers to get it to where you want them to be. So if you leave it as is, it's going to mark all kinds of pivot points, but you can spread out the numbers. Like, let me show you. If you come over here and you go to inputs and you start to go to like 60, then it starts to spread out these dots to actual pivot points. And then you could use those pivot points to, like you did in the past. Thank you guys very much. Thanks. Oh yeah, we're all hoping Nas tanks as well. Definitely hoping Nas tanks. And for gold, I just targeted like 1%. Really, I targeted the 236 extension off this last fib, which was right here at 23.24, 23.25 area. So it's just a TP extension. Yeah. Again, this is such a sketchy entry. I probably shouldn't have taken that entry, but it is what it is. So, okay, guys, I'm going to go. And good luck on trading. And if I see anything else later on this afternoon, I'll put it in the Discords and the tellies. So, all right, guys, y'all take it easy.